we've seen the expansionist mentality, and I think the current liberal world order has collapsed. Absolutely.
Look at their media right now. They are like panicking. They have these panic attacks every day. And I think these intelligent people in the United Nations help us as well. All these intelligences are connected somewhat, Mossad, RAW, and CIA, and they share their intelligence. Buildings have been destroyed. If world allows this to happen, then this type of model can be applied elsewhere as well. We know about Israel-Iran. But the mother of all issues is the Palestine issue, the real academics know about this.
If Iran had nuclear weapons, Iran would have shown restraint more than Israel, because I think we know who the rogue state is and who nuclear weapons are more dangerous.
I have to connect it that even if Israel-Iran war is somewhat connected with Russia-Ukraine war. Muslims don't talk a lot about Russia-Ukraine. We should now. We should talk about Russia-Ukraine.
We should.
You know, helping us fight against this Israeli regime to protect Palestine, which Bashar Assad was doing. So Bismillah, you know, obviously we should.
I agree with you. If even if it was causing harm to the Syrian people, but it was good for the region as a whole, and it was trying to fight the bigger powers.
Challenge, Assalamu alaikum. Today again I'm with my friend Hassan Sadiq also from IMS Islamic Messaging System. Sahil Adeem Saab, you know, we are very fond of him and his organization Islamic Messaging System. We also try to, you know, get that message across of removing the defeated psychology among the Muslim states and emerging as bigger powers in this world as well, and also empowering you know, youth and empowering all the Muslims in the world. I mean, that's what you know, Sahil Adeem Saab's vision is as well, to empower all the Muslims in the world to establish connection, establish lobbies, just like we see how Israel, you know, APAC and all these kind of lobbies control America. Muslims also need to be sharp on these elements, and I think Sahil Adeem Saab is doing a terrific work, and we try to, you know, somehow echo it forward, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Mas bhai. Thank you for having me today. It's a great honor to be with you today. And Sahil Adeem Saab has had a great impact on all of us. I think he's doing great work, and may Allah bless him and grant him success, inshallah.
Yeah, and today we wanted to discuss about, you know, geopolitics, all the geopolitical issues. I think really big topic. Allama Iqbal, you know, also throughout his lifetime, he saw this as a big topic. You know, he went to the he went to the biggest superpowers of his time, Europe and Germany. You know, UK and Germany. He went there. Those were the biggest superpowers of the time. So he, you know, really tried to establish this, that if Muslims want to recover or want to retain to becoming superpowers, they have to study these elements of geopolitics as well. So that's why, you know, this is where our inspiration comes. Yes.
Absolutely. I think that's necessary to regain our consciousness. We've been stuck in Pakistani politics for far too long, and we've like considered this as the outside world, and it's got nothing to do with it. Rather, I would consider it that everything that's happening in Pakistan, it's happening due to the geopolitical situation and how things are unfolding abroad. I think everything is just a symptom, but the cause lies outside our borders, and we need to start focusing on more.
And I recall, you know, the last discussion we had, it was, you know, on physics, more on physics, but, you know, we briefly talked about these elements as well. And you actually talked about it, that next is Pakistan. And this is the last time we talked about the Gaza issue. We said that all Muslims have to unite on this issue, because Israel have this expansionist mindset, and they won't restrict it. And it's better to you know, jump in on these issues right now. And you mentioned last time that next will be Pakistan. And the thing is, after a month or two, there was the Pakistan-India sort of a small conflict.
That whole scenario was controlled by Israel. As we saw, Israeli drones were landing in Pakistan, and still we didn't say anything to it. So where are our, like, we don't have the guts to say anything to Israel. Why is that? And we are only targeting India. And do you think India is our only enemy in this region? I think it's all controlled by Israel. India is also doing its accords on behalf of Israel, actually. Yeah, and we have seen it now in the Iran situation. We've seen the expansionist mentality, and I think the current liberal world order has collapsed. Absolutely. And the norms that we were used to for the past around 60, 70 years after the UN was established, and we knew like the world is going towards some stability and the legal systems are being obeyed. And I think that that norm has now completely collapsed, and now is the time for whoever has the might has the right to do whatever it wants. And we've seen this presidents all over the world right now, in Russia and Ukraine, in Israel and Iran, in Israel and Palestine. Nobody says anything to Israel. Rather, they just publish arrest warrants, and still Netanyahu is roaming around and nobody has arrested him.
Hmm. Yeah, and about India-Pakistan conflict. We were the first ones to say that Israel will orchestrate it, but it's not just Israel. Because there was a leaked paper, of raw intelligence in which all the plan was written down to, destroy all the cities in Pakistan. Israeli-like plans. And
Yeah.
it's not just raw. All these intelligences are connected somewhat. Mossad, RAW, and CIA, and they share their intelligence. All these share their intelligence. The CIA intelligence, I believe, Mossad shares it with CIA, and CIA tells RAW what to do. This is how it plans out.
Mhm.
The CIA intelligence, I think, is these days are going through what should I say, a process of conflict where the narrative, American narrative of America first versus Israel first has even challenged the intelligences of CIA. That's why you see people like John Bolton and Michael Rubin, Levin, these type of war hawks in the CIA who take dictation from Israel, right? All these war hawks,
Yeah.
all these war hawks are in CIA, which are continuously telling to attack Iran, attack Pakistan through India, and these war hawks have continuously maintained this narrative. But there is a changing narrative. People like the Young Turks, Cenk Uyghur, and many other Americans have spoken out on these elements to the point where even CIA is changing. I was just reading the last intelligence report of America on Iran. Tulsi Gabbard, she said that there is no nuclear threat from Iran, and
Yeah.
so there is a changing narrative in CIA as well, which is a good sign. Secondly, about you mentioned about United Nations, and these institutions are breaking down, or I would refrain that. I think America and Israel wants us to think that way because they broke all the international laws. They have broken all the international laws, and because United Nations doesn't suit them now, because international laws do not suit them now, because they have been challenged. You mentioned about this, the genocide case in the International Court of Justice and the criminal case on Netanyahu and Gallant in International Criminal Court. So I think we should retain that the organizations like United Nations International Court of Justice and International Criminal Court, who are maintaining or trying to maintain international law, and it is suiting our narrative as well, the Muslim narrative as well, because United Nations has done terrific work for Palestine cause as well, right? And because they have maintained this. So I would say that this game of United Nations is irrelevant. This is Israeli narrative. We shouldn't fall for this. We should maintain that we will establish international law. Yeah.
No, in my opinion, it has truly fallen, because if it was still there, you know that, right? Most of the United Nations is funded through US, and whatever US says is going to be right. So they cannot contest their own father in saying like, no, you are doing the wrong thing. I think the liberal world order has completely fallen. But and also, like you're saying, the Palestine issue and on Gaza, they did a lot. Still, people are dying there every day. Still, Israel is bombing, and they've not stopped it. So I think the international law, although we should pursue them, we should not disregard them completely. But their following through Israel and US has been not quite the way it was back in the day.
Yeah, I think you are right. When United Nations was established, US had the biggest influence on United Nations, and United Nations was always like this, that hey, international law is just for African countries, international law is just for Muslim countries, international law is just for these uncivilized Arabs, right? And
Yeah.
international law is not for the settler colonialists like the British, like Israel, like America. We all know that. However, I will emphasize this point. Now things have changed a lot in 2025. Things have changed a lot. The United Nations staff, because God has given us this conscience as well, right? to Muslims, to even Christians. And there are many officiating staff among the United Nations, in United Nations, in human rights organizations, who have maintained this, that no, we have to challenge Americans as well on this, on international law. No, we have to challenge Israel as well on international law. So because United Nations, there have been people in America as well who are working for United Nations. Many Muslims work for United Nations. UNRWA, which Israel likes to threat a lot. UNRWA has a lot of Muslims working there. Jordan is, many United Nations organizations have Muslims working there. A lot of people work there. So they have this conscience of, no, we will maintain international law, whether it be against America or, so it is not 1945 anymore or 1948 anymore, where, United Nations was completely pro-America. It has changed. It has changed a lot. And I think Muslims, because we are moderates, because United Nations is also moderate, this should suit our narrative to uphold international law by tagging with these organizations like the United Nations, International Court of Justice, and International Criminal Court.
Yeah, but I still think it's a weak effort. Even if we go to the International Court of Law, they don't have enough power to stop the US or Israel. I think it's a weak effort on our side. Like, I'll give the example of India versus Pakistan in the recent past. When India stopped our water and held the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance, it's still in abeyance, right? Nobody does anything on it. So what did we do? We just said that we'll go in the International Court of Justice, or we said we'll go into the United Nations and we'll involve World Bank. That's all we did. But now we are saying that the precedence is changing. It's not like recently when Israel attacked Iran. We can see that Israel did preemptive strikes. Now is the time of preemptive strikes. Now is not the time for diplomacy. Now it's the time for war. We have to accept that as clear as it gets. It may sound a little radical if you want, but it is the time of war. We cannot use the delaying tactics Iran used in handling Israel's case, and now they're suffering. If they would have attacked Israel back during October 7 attacks and activated their Hezbollah network and various other networks they're being used in militia warfare, they would not have suffered this fate.
Yeah.
I think the world order is changing, and we need to accept that as soon as possible. And if Pakistan wants to survive, it has to up its game in the preemptive strike game. It has to show its might.
I would this UN and international law thing. I would maintain my position because I think there are two sides to it. One is the political side that you are referring to, on which, yes, weapons and all these kind of things play in, and they are probably even a bigger they add a bigger value, or they have a much bigger influence on these matters. We know that. However, there is a moral dimension as well, and on this moral dimension, remember, United Nations is the platform through which Pakistan has picked up momentum to the point where countries like Turkey and these countries like Turkey and Saudi Arabia, they rush towards the help of Pakistan. This didn't happen back in the 30 years ago. Remember when India had these spats with Pakistan? It was always like India attacking and the whole world is silent. So United Nations gave up this platform where Pakistan picked up momentum to the point that now when India tries to attack Pakistan, all of a sudden Turkey rushes in. No, we will defend Pakistan. All of a sudden Saudi Arabia rushes in. All sort of these countries rush in to defend Pakistan. Obviously, Gaza helped this to Pakistan as well, right? Because Gaza changed the dynamics of this world, and not just Gaza, United Nations also. People don't know about this. They think Hamas was controlling all the Gaza region. Hamas was no doubt the government there. Looking at all these elements, and they had this military wing as well. They had this governance wings as well. But UNRWA was the second biggest organization that was dealing the Gaza region, because UNRWA, most of the schools were from UNRWA, right? So these organizations have done tremendous work for even Muslims, rights of Muslims as well, so I emphasize that there is a moral dimension to this as well. There is although United Nations do not have a lot of weapons, however, even if we look at their look at Syria, and you look at other regions, even Pakistan. In Syria, there is the ceasefire line, the 74 ceasefire line, in which there is UN staff, UN staff with weapons defending that line between the Golan Heights and Syria, which helps to, establish some of the territorial integrity of these places. Similarly, I think also with if you remember Egypt and Lebanon as well. In Lebanon as well, there are these UN staff, military staff members who are, guarding that line. So even militarily, there are elements that these organizations like United Nations help us to not just with this moral, but also, in building a bigger narrative. So I maintain that these are high offices. Yeah. Professor Norman Fink, I had a discussion with Professor Norman. He also maintained that these organizations like UN, ICJ, ICC, 80 years, right? 80 years. These are high offices. And to this date, they have this officiating tone that even countries like USA and Israel lacks. Because when United Nations passed the General Assembly, 140 countries, 150 countries accepting Palestine as a state, America really, their media, you look at their media right now. They are like panicking. They have these panic attacks every day. And I think these intelligent people in the United Nations helped us as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I would not agree with you completely, but I would say that you can continue diplomacy while also preparing for war. Let's go over that now. Let's come to the current day discussion. What's going on? Let's end at this. Let's come to the next point. Yeah. So
Gaza, I would start this with Gaza first, because many people are talking about Israel-Iran as well these days. We know about Israel-Iran, but the mother of all issues is the Palestine issue, and the real academics know about this. So I would stick to there is still suffering going on in Gaza, and we should continue to speak more about Gaza and West Bank as well. So to start this, Gaza and West Bank, we have to get rid of the suffering. We have to, maintain that line. And obviously, Iran is helping us as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. This all of this seems like an expansionist plan. And why is it also sudden and also string together in a turn of a couple of months maybe? Why is it happening so suddenly? We need to question that. And I think it's all trying to get the attention away from Gaza. Because on Gaza issue, we've seen that the whole world has been united, humanitarian grounds and on religious grounds. For me, it's a religious issue, and if we cannot save Gaza, we cannot save Islam. I'm sorry to say that, but
we cannot save humanity even, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the suffering is worse. They destroyed hospitals. All the schools have almost all the schools have been destroyed. All the universities have been destroyed.
If there's not even one functioning hospital in Gaza right now, it's crazy to even imagine that.
There are I think 15 or 16 partially functioning hospitals. 20, I think more than 20 have been completely destroyed, and 16 are partially functional right now.
Partially.
Yeah. All the universities have been destroyed. I think almost all the 85% or 90% schools have been, almost all schools have been destroyed. More than 80% of the buildings have been destroyed. If world allows this to happen, then this type of model can be applied elsewhere as well. I mean, this is what
this is what they're doing right now. This is why I'm saying this. If it continues, then we can see the moral liberal world order collapsing, because they cannot stop this. Then it's going to lead to chaos. We can see that even in the current issue. Let's get on the Iran issue now. The Israeli expansionists with preemptive strikes. I don't know where this notion is coming from, and they're defining these non-achievable goals until even today they said in the Security Council meeting that until we feel safe, we'll continue to bomb Iran. It's how can they make you feel safe? It's an unachievable goal, and it cannot ever be accomplished. It means they can bomb Gaza until as long as they feel like. There's nothing stopping them. And this current narrative, I think, is shifting. Even in the Ukraine-Russia war, we've seen in the past few days, it's ramped up quite a lot. Russia has been bombing Ukraine quite heavily, and there've been maybe 200, 300 casualties in the past few days. And I think the three superpowers, as we see as of now, Russia, US, and China. The world has been divided. I think they've just taken their pieces of the cake. The US is taking up Iran through Israel, and Russia is trying to push the boundaries of Ukraine and trying to get as much territory as possible. And China is in a very peculiar situation right now. I think all they're focusing on is their economic posturing. They're trying to be as economically strong as possible. Even we see that their tariff wars between the US and the China have been wiped off memory. Nobody knows what's happening about them.
Do you think that Israel Israel will be able to continue this war with Iran for a long time, or do you think they are only pretending to act tough? Because America and Israel have this doomsday mindset of you give this type of mindset to the enemy. They have this mindset to act
They
tough.
just try to scare the people of Iran, and I don't think they can ever compete Iran in a warfare,
Agree.
because Iran is currently not responding as the way Israel is trying to get up the escalation ladder, as we saw in the first attacks as well. Israel quickly climbed up the escalation ladder and it did not follow like steps of it. It jumped up, and Iran consistently got step by step up the escalation ladder, and now their attacks have worsened quite a lot, and Israel is suffering damage, and
Yep.
they're panicking. Literally, I just saw the statement from the mayor of Israel. He's just saying that mayor of Tel
Stop.
Aviv. He's
It should
saying that
stop.
yeah, it should stop immediately. He was scared. I didn't imagine such a statement coming from Tel Aviv. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think Israel can.
I don't think they can hold it for too long.
Yep.
Their supplies have been running out quite a bit, and I think maybe a week at most. Even if US doesn't get involved directly, Israel is going to lose the war.
I actually predict that the IDF will turn against the Israeli regime. I actually predict that, because the reason is, I was just checking a stat yesterday, 2024, 82,600, something like that, Israelis fled away from Israel. More than 80,000 Israelis. This is 2024, when Yemen was. Remember, the Yemen.
Yemen Houthis were attacking.
Yeah, before Iran was. They were not attacking. They were just sending one ICBM. Just one ICBM in the Ben Gurion airport to just scare away the population, and create this create a sort of this lack of normalization in the society. This kind of narrative.
Over here, I would like to quote Khalid bin Walid over here, that these people always love the world as much as our Muslim people love Shahadat. So
Yeah.
that is all that's going on over here. Their love for this world is as much as we love our love for death. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and I also popularize a quote these days that Israel, when they were attacking Gaza, and hospitals were being bombarded, they were attacking all the civilians. All these things may haunt them in the future, because everything is. This is what I came up with. Everything is fun and games until the bombs ultimately reach you. And this will be our message to Netanyahu as well, because you have started this, and you are not ending this. I don't think the time will be long when the bombs will even reach Netanyahu himself. I don't think that will be long as well.
I think the military might of Iran has been quite clear now, because the interception rate of even the Iron Dome, David Sling, and Arrow has dropped to like 60% now, from 98 to 99% to 60% in the recent missile attacks. They've only been able to stop 60% of it, and the ballistic missile stock of Iran is quite a bit. Even if they stop 100% of it, if Iran launches all of it, Israel will only try to maybe get up to the 50% mark. 50% of the missile will still land in Israel, and Israel will be wiped out of the map. Literally, if Iran completely tries to
I don't
show
use
off
that
its
line.
complete military might.
I don't use that language. I like the language. Iran is only defending itself. Iran has the right to defend itself. That's fine.
Yeah, that's the language you want to use. Yeah, let's keep
Iran
it
has the right
that
to
way.
defend itself. Iran is
Yeah,
only
yeah,
defending. We are only
yeah,
defending. Israel
absolutely,
attack on
absolutely.
13th June. June 13th was the most heinous, of days in the world history, where so much Iranian civilians, their families suffered so much from the Israeli attack. I mean, these little children, they bombs killing them. The pain, the suffering. June 13th. It was the worst day of humanity.
Yeah,
We can
absolutely.
do it like Piers Morgan as well, right?
Yeah, we should do it actually.
June
That's how they
13th
will
was the
listen.
worst day of humanity. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they listen to us, because this is the language they use for when it comes to them. And when it comes to our people dying, it's just they were using human shields. Terrorists were using humans as shields. And this is quite the narrative. I am quite shocked. I didn't know about this. That majority of Israel's military is actually in civil areas. It's crazy. They're actually using human shields. There are bases underground of hospitals. Yesterday, when Iran bombed the hospital, we got to know that there's a Israeli base below it. Even the school, there is a Israeli base below the school. I don't know why they're not highlighting this. They're using humans as shields and they're blaming it on others.
Actually, there was a video of where anti-aircraft missiles were being fired from the civilian areas, from the residential areas as well. There are multiple videos coming out, and yeah, I would like to highlight a bigger picture as well. And right now, by the way, Iran hasn't sent their best missiles at the moment. They are just these Fatah missiles and these type of ICBM. Not their best missiles have been sent. Yeah, but I would like to highlight a bigger world politics matter. How United States of America perceived it. Donald Trump perceived it, right? Because right now it is the Trump administration. We should not forget that America has not involved themselves directly in this war with Iran, and America will not, I believe, involve themselves with this war in this war with Iran, because America and Donald Trump has been fed up of these wars. To be honest, remember CIA is split at the moment with these, because there are war hawks, and then there are those people who are saying enough of these wars. America first, America first, America first. So I think Donald Trump was also fed up with Netanyahu, because Netanyahu tried to manipulate him for years, and Donald Trump has been outspoken about this, that Netanyahu always tried to manipulate him with AIPAC, with all these Israeli lobbies, and Trump is not somebody who likes to be manipulated. So Trump, I believe, is right now trying to out manipulate Netanyahu. Remember all those tweets? The first tweet Donald Trump came up with that, hey, we haven't attacked Iran. We have nothing to do with attacking Iran. We should negotiate. In fact, I would help Israel to get a negotiating deal with Iran. This is very strong tone. So Netanyahu used to manipulate Donald Trump back, arrange an attack, and then board in America that, hey, fight our war. He did like this in all these wars like Iraq, Afghanistan. Always Israel used to do some things like that. Make an attack. Oh, we are under attack. America should fight this war for us. And Trump knows about this. So Trump will not involve this himself. I believe there are all these statements coming off, Donald Trump. So being blasé against Iran. I believe this is only a manipulation tactic against Netanyahu. He will not involve America on the ground, but on the media, he will perceive, oh, we are with Israel. This is an out manipulation tactics against Netanyahu, and this is my analysis.
Yeah, I would like to say the same. I don't think that US would involve itself in this war, because the whole narrative and the campaign that Trump did before coming in office was America first, and he came off as a person who likes peace and who will stop all the wars in the world. And even his recent tweets indicate that he was here for the Nobel Peace Prize. He has actually mentioned in the most recent tweet that I want the Nobel Peace Prize for this. I stopped the India-Pakistan war. I stopped that war. I stopped this war. He actually is doing this for the Nobel Peace Prize. And if he enters the war officially, it would not turn out very well for him, because the American citizens are fed up of war. Truly understand this. They don't want war anymore. It's not Afghanistan. Iran is not Afghanistan. We should not think of it that way, because Afghanistan
even in Afghanistan they failed, right?
Even in Afghanistan they couldn't do anything, but they attacked, right? So I am saying that this is not Afghanistan, and this is not 2000. We should just consider it in a larger perspective, that the whole Trump initiative and the whole thought process is that he should not get involved with this. Even I think the recent meeting with the Pakistani army chief, I think we have indicated our posture quite clearly to Trump, that we are not getting involved in it in any way, and we are not helping the US. I would like to reject the propaganda that Pakistan is siding with the US in any way. I think this has been quite a diplomatic win for Pakistan. And Pakistan suggesting him for the Nobel Peace Prize as well. That is also an indicator that something. I think this is a diplomatic masterstroke from Pakistan, because of his. I think they are trying to tap into his fascinations of the Nobel Peace Prize, and trying to get him into not attacking Iran, and convincing him to take more of a shadow response, I would say.
Now, I think my analysis is that Trump is waiting for Israel to fail and Israel will fail if USA doesn't involve. And when Israel will fail, and Netanyahu will come begging to him, then he'll say, "Hey, look, didn't I tell you to come up with a deal with them?" Yeah, I think Trump is playing
Yeah,
this.
yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense because recently he's been doing the same thing everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my analysis, because you will not find this in the Western media. Yeah,
Mm.
I see it like that Trump is playing this waiting game. That, hey, we didn't tell you to attack Iran. You attacked Iran. Now you fight this war, and we know you will fail this war. And when you fail this war, you will come running after me, just like Volodymyr Zelensky came running after us.
Yeah.
And I would like to connect it that even if Israel-Iran war is somewhat connected with the Russia-Ukraine war. Muslims don't talk a lot about Russia-Ukraine. We should
Mm.
now. We should talk
Yeah,
about
we should. We
Russia-Ukraine,
should.
because both these wars are connected in a way. And before moving on to Russia-Ukraine, I think I would just like to, the meeting is ending in 5 minutes. We will rejoin after it. I would just end on this nuclear question, which is a very important question. Iran should not have this, nuclear power. I mean, this person Netanyahu. I mean, did you see the video from 1995 onwards?
Yeah, I
He
did.
has
I
always
did.
been saying Iran is just 2 months away from having nuclear weapons. Iran, but I
I've been
think
saying it for 35 years now.
but I think this is not even the question. The first question, because Western media always ask this question that, hey, Israel attacked Iran because there was this nuclear threat. I don't think this is the first question. The first question should be that, hey, there is only one country in the Middle East who actually has nuclear weapons, and that country is Israel. And
Israel. Yeah.
Israel is not signed to the NPT, the
Yeah, yeah, I know, I
non-proliferation
know.
treaty, and Israel has not lived up to the IAEA standards, to which Iran is now, asked a lot about these, even
Mm.
though Iran actually, followed the JCPOA deal, and USA actually tore up the deal. Donald Trump tore up the deal. It was, I think, his major flaw of Donald Trump when he tore up the JCPOA deal. He shouldn't have done that. And Iran actually implemented the deal. But the main thing is, why does Israel have nuclear weapons? Do you know how they came up, how they developed nuclear weapons? Israel, they
Uh,
throughout the decades said that, hey, we don't know about, we don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. I've seen the videos. I've seen the videos. Yeah.
Yeah, they have, completed their nuclear weapons and nuclear warheads. They have hundreds of
Mm-hmm.
nuclear warheads,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
I know.
throughout the years, whenever they are asked, they are like, we don't know about it. We don't
Yeah,
have.
yeah. They act very suspiciously and they say that, no, there's no new. We don't know about this.
I
I
think
don't
Iran
know.
should do the same. Iran should do the same. We don't have
Yeah,
any.
Iran is doing the same thing.
Yeah,
Iran is
maybe,
doing the
maybe,
same thing.
maybe, maybe. I think Iran should do the same. We don't have any
Yeah,
nuclear weapons. We don't have any nuclear
yeah.
weapons. And then when the time comes,
Even IAA just did a complete
IAEA.
verification. Yeah, yeah, whatever. But just did a complete verification of this. They surveyed the sites and they said that they don't have any nuclear weapons. But I don't know why Israel still attacked it. I think in this whole scenario, if Iran had nuclear weapons, Iran would have shown restraint more than Israel because I think we know who the rogue state is and who nuclear weapons are more dangerous to have, Israel or Iran. Because in this war, we have seen that Iran has shown restraint in
Yeah.
attacking Israel, but
Obviously,
Israel
there
has
is.
went all out.
And there is, Israel likes to use this language, existential threat. Iran, this is the Nancy language. We know, I know
Yeah,
about this
yeah,
is the Nancy language. But we would say Israel is an existential threat to the entire world at the moment. They have
yes,
nuclear weapons,
absolutely.
right? And by the way, we
Mm,
should also come up with the nuclear first doctrine as well. And
mm.
I would even like to, because one step is that Iran should say that, hey, we don't know we are making nuclear weapons, and then they should make nuclear weapons, and then when the time comes, they should even throw the nuclear weapon at Israel and say that, hey, we didn't throw any nuclear weapons.
Yeah, that is the way
Even
to go.
because
I completely agree with you.
the second step is that, remember Pakistan said in August 2024, very important statement. Pakistan said that if Iran has nuclear threat from Israel, then Pakistan may provide nuclear weapons to Iran as well. I think this is a very big statement, but I would even come up with a bigger, first time I'll share this bigger concept. And the bigger concept is that if that time comes, Pakistan and Iran should even consider to become a unified country. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, yeah. Just I would like that idea actually because Iran, I think, is quite has been suffering sanctions for too long, and
Yeah.
now it's their time to get up and join the real world.
And
Yeah, I would like that idea actually.
yeah,
Pakistan and Iran acting up like a UN based countries like the UN act. Sorry, EU, European Union.
And if
Yeah.
Pakistan and Iran becomes a unified country, even threat of India diminishes, right? And
Mm,
Allama Iqbal,
mm,
I would like to mention Allama Iqbal in the end. We have 30 seconds and then we'll rejoin. Allama Iqbal wrote most of his poetry in Farsi. He left a
yeah.
message. He left a message for decades to come. It almost feels so real right now, right? That hey,
Yeah.
you have to
Yeah.
unite. The time will come that you have to unite. Both of you have ethnic and religious connections, very strong connections. So you have to unite. That is our ultimate. And I think Pakistan and Iran will become a unified country. That is my
Inshallah.
wish.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
Inshallah. Yeah.
I'll end with the Russia Ukraine. I'll also briefly mention about Syria as well.
Mm,
Russia Ukraine, I said, is somewhat connected with the Israel-Iran war as well. And Shahid Massoud has continuously talked about this, that hey, these things are connected. This is the European theater, and this is the Middle East theater, and there is an Indo-Pak theater, and all these theaters are connected in a way. And
yeah.
this is how the whoever these civilization, these people who think they are the forces of civilization, they think like this. These globalists, these people think like this. So we have to
Yeah.
also think like this. Russia, Ukraine. I'll mention it. Many Muslims don't know about this. Russia attacked Ukraine in 2014. When they
Mm,
took over Crimea. When they were
yeah.
taking over Crimea, by the way, do you know about this little history? I don't know a lot, but I know a
Uh,
little history.
no, no, no. It's not same. I don't know a lot, but I know like the little bit of basics.
Yeah, when they were taking over Crimea, uh, Putin actually demanded one thing, that, and by the way, this was established with the Europe and the West, that Ukraine cannot be a part of NATO. This is the main point on which Russia attacked, because NATO is a military wing. So if
Mm,
Ukraine will become their part, then there is a military threat against Russia. So Europe also, accepted this in the past. Russia also accepted this, but later on, when Ukraine was trying to become a member of NATO, that is when Russia attacked. So Russia
yeah, yeah.
didn't break any, because we think Russia is so, we are fed with this narrative. Oh, Russia is so, Putin is a dictator. Putin is this.
Mm,
Putin is probably more 1,000 times more morally a good person than America, and
yeah.
million times more than Israel, obviously. So Russia attacked Ukraine when Ukraine breached their agreements,
Agreement with the yeah.
agreements on becoming part of NATO. And what happened after that? I think few days after, when Russia attacked Ukraine, they said that hold on a minute. United States of America and UK, France, they said, no,
Yeah.
come, stop the war, ceasefire, and
Mm,
okay, we'll end this now. And they came up with these proposals, and they presented it to Putin, and they wanted to finish this. And you know what happened then? 4 days, 5 days,
what happened?
I think 5 or 6 days after, Boris Johnson, the arrogance of
Mm,
these people, they were like, no,
yeah.
no, we will move away from the deal. We will postpone the deal.
Ah,
They were insulting Vladimir Putin in a way,
mm,
that they were
yeah.
saying, end the war, and Crimea would have been, even Crimea wouldn't have been annexed by then, right? In 2014, Boris
Yeah.
Johnson, UK was being extremely arrogant, UK government regime. France and America, all these countries were being so arrogant, and they were insulting Putin. Putin didn't like it.
Yeah.
Putin didn't like it. Then he went, he said, we'll go full military now.
He went
And
all out. Yeah.
yeah, and I think within days or months, within months, Crimea was annexed, right?
Mm,
And
yeah.
we should also know about this. Many Muslims don't know about this, that Crimea was predominantly pro-Putin, not pro-Zelensky.
Mm,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
The people in Crimea wanted to always supported Russia anyways, right?
Mm,
And after that, after Crimea was annexed, after that, UK was like, oh, we will, go all blasé against Russia. Or Putin is a dictator. Russia will be disallowed from participating in Olympics. ICC arrest warrants against Putin. Remember, this is the
yeah.
context.
Yeah. 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 I know. I
And
know.
America was being so arrogant, right? America was being
Mm,
so arrogant that hey, Putin is a dictator. Joe Biden, remember all those
yeah.
statements?
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
dictator. He should be, whatever. This war, we will, attack Russia. We will attack this and that. And now, 11 years later, what has happened? Not only Crimea is annexed, but entire eastern
Still
Ukraine
in
is
front of
now
Ukraine is
annexed.
next. Yeah.
Yeah, with Zaporizhia, areas like Zaporizhia,
Mm,
areas like Kherson, areas like there are four areas, Luhansk area,
Mm.
Donetsk area. So these four areas, Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson, entire
Mm.
eastern Ukraine has been annexed.
Yeah, has been annexed.
And now, do you know what happened few days ago? I think a month back. Now, you remember when Trump had a meeting with Zelensky,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I clearly recall that.
yeah,
Yes.
and Zelensky was saying make a deal so that entire Ukraine can be, their part now.
Yeah, yeah.
And Trump was saying, forget about this deal now, just accept a ceasefire. Remember that?
Yes, yes, I did remember that, and then it led to an argument between them, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
And in
remember that.
2014, they were being so arrogant. We will defeat Putin. Trump gave
Yeah,
them javelins, and Biden only gave them these sheets. And so arrogant. Both these presidents were in America and UK as well.
yeah.
And now look at now. Entire eastern Ukraine has been annexed, and Trump is begging for a ceasefire to Putin.
Mm.
In the recent G7 meeting, Trump was saying, who are these people? Who are these people? I don't like these people. Russia should be here. Putin should be here. I mean,
Yeah,
the moral of the story is, God is great. The
yeah.
only biggest zat, the biggest zat in this world
Mm.
is Allah Almighty.
Allah Subhanahu wa
I
Taala.
think
Yes,
even
absolutely.
even these biggest countries like United States of America, they become so arrogant, and
Mm.
now they are begging for a ceasefire. And you know what Putin said to Donald Trump? He said, this is just, I think, few weeks ago when
Mm.
Putin called and asked for a ceasefire to Donald Trump called Putin and asked for a ceasefire to Putin that, hey, end this now. And Putin said that, hey, we will postpone it now. Putin has
Yeah.
postponed the ceasefire now. I mean, so
Mm-hmm.
in 2014, in which Boris Johnson was being insulting to Putin that, hey, no, forget about the deal, forget about the ceasefire, forget about
Yeah.
that. Now all areas of Ukraine has been annexed, and now America is begging for a ceasefire, Donald Trump, and Putin
Mm-hmm.
is saying, no, 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 let's
Yeah,
postpone it.
we'll
And
see. We'll see.
now I will attach it with Israel-Iran war as well, because
Mm.
Iran war also needs to linger on to teach Israel a lesson, and this
Yeah.
war is also lingering on. Russia-Ukraine war is also lingering on to teach United States of
US.
America.
Yeah. US lesson. Yep.
Hey, the world is not unipolar anymore. The world
Mm.
is not unipolar anymore. Russia has a
Yeah.
lot of nuclear weapons. China has a lot of nuclear weapons. BRICS is a bigger forum. Forget about your G7. BRICS have more than half of the world population there. Yeah, so this is the,
Yeah.
I wanted to mention about Russia, Ukraine for a long time.
Yeah. I would also like to discuss the Chinese stance. What do you think about that? Because China has been quite for a long time, and where is it going? I think. Do you think it's going to take its way with Taiwan? Do you think it would lead to that?
I had a discussion with Dr. Jeff Sprague, and he said that Russia and China has a very good ideology in terms of moving the world towards a transnationalist type of a
Mm.
model. Where China have these countries like Pakistan and Taiwan,
Yeah.
or this region, and this region will be a very strong region that will establish trade among themselves, and then Russia, and then Western region. So this is a transnational type of a world, not unipolar, multipolar type of a world.
Yeah.
And Russia and China both have this model, and they want to challenge America and get them out of this slumber that, hey, you have to get out of this mindset that you control the world. You don't anymore.
Yeah.
You don't anymore. And the sooner America learns this lesson, the better. Because if you won't learn this lesson, then Israel-Iran war is going on. Do you think
Yeah.
if America joins Israel, Russia wouldn't join Iran? Do you think that?
I think
They will
it should
100%
it
join
should.
Iran.
Yeah, they've been quite good friends in the past as well.
Yeah, and Iran actually provided drones to Russia, and
Yeah, yeah,
Russia fought Ukraine with those drones as well. And Russia will obviously join Iran if America joins Israel. And America knows
yeah,
this, United States of America. That's where Trump said that no, 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 don't attack
yeah.
Khomeini, don't attack Khomeini.
That is why they're taking their time and waiting until Israel collapses and get back to them. I think, yeah.
Yeah, and China is playing a very good model.
Mm.
China has totally moved away from United States of America to Russia.
Yeah,
China listens to
yeah,
Russia. Have you heard the statement that China will provide aid to Iran? China will
mm,
provide weapons to Iran. All these things are coming because Russia has not directly even participated. Right now, China is
yeah.
participating, and
Mm,
obviously China will try to avoid any direct war among them because they are the biggest economic power. Why would they
yeah,
like to have a military war with anyone? But I think China should also play a role, and they are playing this role because Putin has done this tremendously. And do you remember last time we had a discussion with your friend, another friend, Muhammad Mahad,
Yeah.
on Syria? We were having a long discussion on Syria, and I said that Bashar al-Assad shouldn't have been ousted. Remember that?
Yeah,
And
yeah, I
we were
remember. I
having a
remember. Yeah.
long discussion on this, and I was making the argument Bashar al-Assad was backed by Russia. Bashar al-Assad was backed by Russia. Russia is 1,000 times morally a better country than the United States of America.
Than the US. Yeah. Yeah.
And until Bashar al-Assad was there, Israel didn't dare attack Syria because Russia provided the best planes to Syria. Right now, Israel is, attacking Iran with these fighter jets, and the range of these fighter jets is, I think, above 60,000 feet. And Iran has this weak. This is the weak point of Iran of not dealing, because Iran's fighter jets are not to that level. But Syria's fighter jets were even better than Israelis.
Yeah.
So why was Syria's defense so good? Because of Russia. Those fighter jets came from Russia. And the sooner Muslims understand that, hey, we also need coalitions. We also need
we need to get together, bro. We need to get together.
Because United States of America and Israel are expansionists against Muslims. Palestine. Russia is not expansionist against Muslims. So we also need to tag with Russia. And that's why I said that on Syria, Muslims made a big mistake of allowing this to happen. We should have never allowed this to happen. Bashar al-Assad, whatever religious Shia, Sunni, whatever this, I don't care about this. If you are helping us fight against this Israeli regime to protect Palestine, which Bashar al-Assad was doing, so Bismillah, obviously we should.
I agree with you. If even if it was causing harm to the Syrian people, but it was good for the region as a whole, and it was trying to fight the bigger powers.
And even people like Muhammad Hijab and Adnan Rashid, I mean, these are so respected. Even they were celebrating that, hey, Assad is gone. I mean, this blows my mind.
I think they were not completely aware of the geopolitical situation. And
many Muslims, even youth club, even this blows my mind away that even Muslims fall for this trap. Who came afterwards?
I know. We all know that.
Ahmad Jolani. Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, Khawarij, Al-Qaeda, Daesh. Didn't he represent those people? What is the fatwa against the Khawarij among the Muslims? They are the worst kind. They have been killing Muslims. They have been partnered with Israel and America. And we are supporting now Hayat Tahrir. But I would like to this is a big thing I would want to mention. Hayat Tahrir al-Sham is designated as a terrorist organization by even United States of America.
And I was shocked to see him on CNN being interviewed. This was probably the first time CNN interviewed
not just CNN interview with Donald Trump, having pictures with Donald Trump, having meetings with Donald Trump. Donald Trump removed all the sanctions in Syria. I mean, this person has changed his mind, and once upon a time, he was and he's still designated as a terrorist organization, by the way, by United States of America.
Yes.
And by United Nations Security Council as well. Russia, China, all of them designated them as a terrorist organization. But because it suited the narrative of toppling Assad, because Assad was so pro-Russia that it was helping us, helping the Muslims as well, helping Syria as well, fending off Israeli regime terrorists, fending off Americans in that area. Assad was 1,000 times better than this. But I maintain position now. Obviously, Bashar al-Assad is gone. I think we have to take ownership of Jolani as well. With time progresses, I think we have to take ownership of.
And may Allah grant him Hidayat. That's all I can say. He should side with the people.
And all these people turn against Israel with time anyways. We have seen this.
Because we've always seen this. Israel can never survive it.
Afghanis were the freedom fighters. Remember Ronald Reagan? Afghanis were the freedom fighters. And when it didn't suit their model of governance, and all of a sudden they are now terrorists. Taliban are bad people. Al-Qaeda, Osama bin Laden is the worst terrorist in the world. But there is, even a bigger win for Muslims. I think I see a bigger win in this. You know what that is? And there is a bigger win for Russia as well on this. And that is that the label of terrorist, which the West has weaponized for decades against Muslims, is now losing its worth. Because when you get somebody in power who you self-proclaimed is a terrorist, is a representation of a terrorist organization, now the word terrorist loses weight, even in your eyes.
Yeah.
So the next time you start trying to calling any Muslim government as a terrorist organization, you should think twice about this. In fact, now we will talk about you as a terrorist, Israeli regime as
Terrorist.
a
Yeah.
terrorist organization,
Mm.
United States of America as a terrorist organization, UK as
Yeah.
a terrorist organization. Open all the cases. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, I would like to end on this that Israel will not stand a chance, and probably it is a cancer cell, and the body will eventually kill it off, inshallah. That's where I would like to end it.
Yeah, and I would like to end it that Pakistan should, I think, also apologize to Russia. That
Mm.
1979-80, I think the external pressures were a lot on our country. And I would like to apologize to Russia as well that, no, we see Russia as positive now. We see Russians as positive, and we would like to collaborate with them and with
Mm.
Russia and China. We already collaborate with China. We would like to collaborate with Russia as well. Countries like Pakistan should collaborate with Russia more rather than America, because Russia has even more nuclear weapons than America. Don't forget that. So it's
Yes.
better to take sides. I
And
don't.
it's the
I don't.
only country who can actually attack America actually with nuclear weapons. It's the only country who has the range to send off nuclear weapons to America.
Yeah, and America, and we have just seen the Ukraine war where Britain, France, all these countries were partnering, and they couldn't do anything to Russia
Mm.
because Russia is even their military fighters are more stronger than Americans, right? So Russia is the biggest superpower, and Russia is more moderate country, and Russia is not expansionist, and Russia is pro-Palestine. So I think with time progresses, Pakistan should move towards Russia. I don't like going to both sides. There
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
famous saying. There is a famous saying that if you try to take sides of all the people, you end up nowhere. Right?
Yeah.
So just like Iran has stuck to Russia, and now they are emerging as a superpower. Iran will ultimately emerge as a superpower. I think we should also strengthen our ties with
Side
them.
with the correct side now. This time it's high time Pakistan, I would like to say, is the bride, and people are coming with the proposals to the bride, and we should accept the correct one this time. Not again, please, not US again.
Yeah, and both these wars are connected: Russia, Ukraine, Iran, Israel.
Yeah.
I think I would end up by saying that if one war stops, the other will stop with it. That's why Putin postponed
Mm.
it, and that's why Trump is so frustrated now that hey, he couldn't stop both the wars, and he promised to stop both the wars, and he
Yeah.
couldn't stop even one. So I think probably Russia Ukraine would even be now a bigger problem for Trump, and I think my message, if it goes to US administration, would be that Trump only has to do two things. Just just like the former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert says that go to the Oval Office and turn towards the camera and tell Netanyahu that stop this war in Gaza. You have to stop this completely and stop this war with Iran as well and return to the negotiating table. Say it with a forceful tone. If Israel-Iran war stops, it can stop first as well. Don't forget this. We are thinking that Russia-Ukraine is, no. Putin wants Israel-Iran war to stop first, and then Russia-Ukraine war will stop. And I think I'll end this, with Owen Jones. I think British journalist, very famous British journalist, and he said that a reckoning is coming to all these people. he
Yeah.
he said a reckoning is coming because we see the panic among the U.S. administration, the UK administration, and I think he correctly said that America is now failing to grab their dominancy on these regions, and if they
Yeah.
fail, then Russia and China and all these countries, Middle East as well,
Mm.
they will have to face a reckoning. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.